speed oftentimes gets lumped into it creates injury. Well, I'm going to tell you, most dysfunction takes place when we're running easy, when we're in our zone 2 effort, when we zone out, we put the earbuds in, and we have poor leg stiffness, we have long ground contact time, and we have poor form. That's when things go wrong. Hey team, well, we're off to the track today and we're going to talk about speed work. If you're doing speed work, we're going to talk about what true speed work really is, and it'll probably surprise you. And if you're not doing speed work, why every runner should do speed work. Let's go. So today, let me start over. Tomorrow, I have a big, long run project planned, something I've been wanting to do for several years now, and tomorrow's the day. Stay tuned for that. A little bit of a surprise, big, long day. From home, I'm calling it Home Summit Home. That's going to be the title. Anyways, so I've been doing a lot of vert up to this point for this project and for my race a few weeks ago at Broken Arrow. And I needed to get a little recovery in today, but I also wanted to keep the legs primed and ready, and they've been kind of craving some flat and fast running that I haven't been doing in this last training block because I needed to focus so much on vertical. So I'm going to take you through my first speed workout, back to base building and foundation building, and back at the track for a while. So we're gonna go through that, but first, let's first talk shoes. I know how you guys like to talk about shoes. I'm gonna warm up in a new pair of the Norda 001. And I have the 002s, which I really like, and probably are gonna wear them tomorrow for my big adventure. They're a good minimal, but just a great ground feel shoe that I've been loving for a while now. But everybody's been raving about the 001, so I thought it would be time for me to check it out. I'm always in kind of a lookout for just a little bit more of a shoe that gives me protection for really long days in very rugged terrain and technical terrain, so I get a little bit more protection and save the feet, so to speak, but still allow me to have some ground feel that I really like because of my strong feet without being too squishy. With all the new foam these days, the foams are really squishy, and so once you get up in stack height, all that stuff, all that squish tends to just toss you around the terrain and the trails. Again, you know, with my rugged terrain, I just get tossed all over the place. So I'm hoping that maybe this is a little bit more rugged of a shoe that allows me to go really long without getting a lot of foot fatigue. The stack height looks a little bit higher than it is because it wraps like a bathtub up around your foot. So the forefoot's only 21 mil. So I think I'm really liking it. But long story short, the reason I'm warming up in it, one of the downside is that this little heel counter and cup around the heel collar has been notoriously, I guess, painful and causing some issues in some runners. So I'm just going to slowly work my time into this, and today's a good day to do it during my warm-up. But then, for my first day back at the track, I'm going to go to my trusty Speed Force 2 Zero shoes. Really minimal shoe I love for just walking around, getting foot strength and foot core while I'm walking around, and doing a lot of short, easy runs in these throughout my whole year that I'm not abandoning. Really low to the ground, barefoot style, natural feel for my foot core and continuing to build on strength. And the reason today, normally I'll in kind of a real important track workout, I'll throw on spikes, but today I'm going to stay on the turf because of my big run tomorrow. I don't want to beat my legs up too much being on the track itself. So instead of going barefoot, the turf is going to be super hot. So this will take the edge off of the hot, and now I can stay nice and natural, nice and strong, and ease my legs into some good speed training block from here until kind of the rest of the fall, until Mother Nature starts to snow again. So that's my shoe repertoire for the day. So yeah, time to warm up. Now, I wouldn't necessarily recommend doing this type of workout before a big day tomorrow, but I'm going to do it in a way to express the purpose of this video, but also do it in a way that it kind of primes my legs for tomorrow. And the reason I wanted to try the Norda 001s was based on my experience with the 002s. The midsole is pretty incredible. It gives a little bounce, gives a little return, but it's much, much firmer than a lot of the super shoe foams that, again, doesn't bounce you around. So this 001 midsole really kind of feels nice even on the track. It's not too cushy, and it's still pretty firm and allows me to feel kind of a good ground feel. So I'm encouraged. Yeah, I'm going to be super patient with this warm-up. I'm going to get 2 miles in just around the track. I love running at the track, even if it's just easy. There's something about that oval repetition that I really like. Similar to like being on a treadmill. I did a lot of treadmill work earlier this winter and really enjoyed kind of the mind games and just that mindset you need for a lot of repetition. Here's the problem with speed work. Those runners who are doing speed work or think they're doing speed work are really doing strength work or strength or speed endurance workouts. And that's what we're going to dive into. Those runners who do not do speed work, who think they're maybe not good enough to have to do speed work, we're going to talk about the health and longevity benefits of doing speed work for any runner to create, again, more health and longevity, and how it can actually help reduce injury. Warm-up speed, zone 1, just nice and relaxed, working on foot strike, working on cadence, working on good form. All right, time for some strength skills. With all my athletes, I always have them do some type of strength skill, whether it's foot core, more elaborate skills before, during, or after running. Works as a great warm-up, and that's what we're going to hit today as my first main set, and then we're going to dive into the speed main set and get into the nitty-gritty. Okay, so big mistake many runners make when they think they're doing speed work. I'm going to pull in an example from one of our subscribers on the channel, and not to single him out or to pick on him, but this is a common theme and a common comment I see all the time. And his comment was that he started to do speed work in the form of pickups during some of his runs, and these pickups were done at 5K pace. Okay, so normally pickups, you know, that's kind of a general term, but I'm going to assume they're relatively short, which is good for speed. But the key here is when he said at 5K pace. That's a strength workout. A speed workout, it has to be short, which we'll get into, but much, much faster than 5K pace. Wow, it's really warm on the turf. Feels great. So again, what deciphers the difference between a strength workout and speed workout or intervals? If you're doing 400-meter intervals at 5K pace, that's a strength workout because of the 5K effort. If you're doing 40 meters at sub VO2 max speed, that's a speed workout because of the effort, the speed, and the duration. So conversely, If you hear an athlete, a runner say, hey, I'm headed to the track to do a speed workout and I'm doing 800s at VO2 max. Okay, let's dissect that. 800s, twice around the track. Is this a speed workout? No, it's a speed endurance workout, not because of the speed, but because of the duration. Okay, the effort and the speed is fine, okay? But it's going 3 minutes or for 800 that makes it endurance. So a speed endurance workout, which comes a little bit later in your program. All right, let's get into the main set, the main speed set. And I'm gonna do 5 by 10 seconds, very fast. And then I'm gonna do 5 by 20 seconds, very fast. To execute this, I like to get a rolling start, especially with a lot of my athletes. So you're kind of building up to speed. So for example, on these 10-second intervals, I'm probably gonna be rolling through maybe another 10 seconds to get up to speed. And then once I get up to speed, I'm gonna hold that for 10 seconds. And the same with the 20 seconds. I'll get up to speed and then hold it. So that 20 seconds is the speed I want. And these are fast running. I like to say, train, don't strain. Doing these should be fun. Train, don't strain. Tell my athletes, if you dread how many you're doing, they're too fast. If you dread them at all, they're too fast. They should be fun. And the key is, do not extend the time, because then it morphs into strength. For most runners who aren't necessarily doing this all the time, or maybe they're doing it for the first time and don't have a real good sense of what fast is, that keeping them at 10 seconds, 20 seconds, they're gonna be faster than most of the running you're doing. And that's the key. This speed work is essential during base building because it improves your endurance, it improves your strength, it improves your elasticity and power, because the 3 components of base building is endurance, strength, and speed. And so speed, in a way, not only does it help you to train your muscle fibers to have the ability to run faster, which is good for performance and health, but it helps tremendously your endurance and strength during this time. And that's why it's so crucial, especially ultra runners who maybe don't even think speed is important for ultra running, but here it's going to improve your strength and your endurance, and it's going to improve your, what I call your potential. So when you do speed endurance, you're faster going into doing your speed endurance workouts, improving your potential, not just continuing to do the same thing over and over and just get to the same level of ability you get to every year. And that's the secret sauce for improving as an ultra runner. You've got to get faster, because then it translates all across the board. And that leads us into why speed helps our endurance. Doing speed workout like this creates a reserve, and it helps your sub-maximal capacity. So the faster you are, the easier it is for you to maintain slower paces, or what might be ultra endurance appropriate race paces. So it's gonna become easier for you to maintain that specific type of speed for your ultras. Speed does that, yeah. In my channels, a lot of times you hear me talk about ground contact time and how important good leg stiffness is. Having good leg stiffness reduces your ground contact time. It allows you to land, strike the ground, and get off it very, very quickly, which allows you to become a healthier runner, okay? And so doing this type of speed workout, 10, 15, 20 seconds, helps you develop better leg stiffness, improving tendon strength, improving ligament strength. All this comes from this speed training that feeds into you and your health as a runner. So if you're not necessarily a competitive runner, or maybe classify what you do on the performance side of things, and maybe therefore don't think speed is important for you, start to see this type of speed work, this speed training, as a way to create better health and to avoid injury and to become a stronger runner, regardless of the runner we want to be. I know all of you out there want to be healthy. Okay, and that's the key. That's the point. That's the drive home, right? That this type of speed oftentimes gets lumped into, it creates injury. Well, I'm going to tell you, most dysfunction takes place when we're running easy, when we're in our zone 2 effort, when we zone out, we put the earbuds in, and we have poor leg stiffness, we have long ground contact time, and we have poor form. That's when things go wrong. But this speed workout's going to help us to have better form, better elasticity, better ground contact time when we're running longer or when we're running easier. What's crucial when doing these intervals, we need a lot of rest in between. We're talking 3+ minutes. This is crucial for all the biochemistry in your body to do its work during these neuromuscular type of workouts. So you've got to stay patient, and you got to give yourself 3+ minutes, because they're fast. We're not looking to create fatigue. Okay, we're looking for each one to be really good. Another example, you hear about Tabata or HIIT workouts, where you might run for 30 seconds and take 30 seconds off, run for 30 seconds, 30 seconds off. Again, what kind of workout is that? Based on the interval of the rest of 30 seconds, that's very short. This is a strength workout. This is a stamina workout. So now when we're doing our 10 to 20 second speed workout, we need 3+ minutes of rest. Okay, crucial. So don't do speed work when you're in a hurry. And if you're not used to doing speed workout or running faster, really focus on relaxing. A fast runner is a relaxed runner. And think about really swinging your arms back, almost extending that arm. Okay, when we're running this fast, we want to really get that extension to help propel us forward. Okay, and to help you relax, I often go through a 2 process. One, I always say my mantra before the start of each interval, so I'm focused. But then to relax, running fast, I try to feel my jaw jiggle up and down. Okay, it helps me to feel that what relaxation really is, and you'll begin to notice that the more you relax, the faster you get. All right, oh, gotta stop my watch. There you go. All right, thanks for coming along at the track. First way back felt really good. I'm gonna toss the Norda 001s back on and do a nice long cool down. The Tour de France is going on right now, and if you watch that at all, notice how at the end of the race, after 4 or 5+ hours of hard racing, they're sitting on their bike trainer cooling down to really flush their legs from all the waste product and really help in the recovery. So I'm gonna get a nice, easy, longer cool down, probably maybe another 2 miles to flush everything, especially since I'm going big tomorrow. So thanks again for coming along. Again, throw down your questions. Over and out from Jackson Hole Track. Jackson Hole, Born to Run World. See you guys.